we're going to do a real estate market update. Is that kind of where we're at? If that's where we're at, why don't we do that? Let's go right down the line. Dylan, Scott, and then Heidi, give us the real estate. What's going on? What's with the market that's not crazy, where the market's nuts and it's gone bananas? What else? Give me something else, Dylan.
Well, it's kind of status quo from the last couple of shows that we've had. So we talked about the inventory falling all year and then hitting a bottom in July, and then since August, September, and then now October, it bumped back up. So it was below 400 homes on the market for the whole island. It's up about 420. So it went up a little bit, but it's not continuing to climb. The last couple of weeks and month has been pretty stable. So although there was a little increase, we're not seeing any kind of like flood of new listings coming on the market. But we are seeing the lower priced range properties being overpriced, and then now they're not selling. So for example, in the Kona market, there's hardly anything. There's 7 houses under 650,000. All of them are not in the greatest shape, but they've all been on the market plus 3+ weeks. So some of them 60 days, a lot longer. So the frenzy of buying like everything cheap has kind of ended. And I think we've kind of crossed that threshold where the prices have been driven up so far that buyers are now pulling back and not buying. And so we're seeing a little bit of a price correction, I think, definitely on the lower end. A lot of the higher end stuff, the 1.2, 1.3 million stuff is still selling pretty quickly, but the lower end stuff has kind of hit a price ceiling.
Okay, so there's a little bit of a good news there. We are kind of finding the upper are we finding the bottom or the upper end? But we're, like you said, we're finding some price resistance. So at least for that lower range, there is something. There is a there. There is a, I don't know if they call it a bottom or a top, but there's something there.
People are not paying $700,000 for fixer-uppers at the moment. So.
They're not paying $700,000 for a $300,000 property, right?
Correct. Yes.
Right. So we had a quick congrats that came in from Tom. This is Tom to Heidi. So Tom says, congratulations, Heidi. Had to rewind to hear the news. Yeah. So everyone who just joined us, if you haven't seen this yet, Heidi, our very own Heidi, got engaged. And she received her proposal at the top of a waterfall. So that's pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool, Heidi. Scott, what's up on what's going on with Oahu's market? You're muted.
Yeah, I just got a notification this morning of a major fixer, and this thing was a beaut. It looked like it was about to fall down. In fact, it says don't go on the property due to safety reasons, and it was listed at $775,000. So the fixer over here is alive and well at $775,000. No, it's interesting, man. I keep doing these deep dives, looking for little nuggets here and there, and literally every neighborhood across the board is 18 to 25% price appreciation for single family homes this year to last year. The single family home price for the last 2 months has been the median price has been $1.05 million, and on condos we're at $478,000 for a median condo price. Days on market is literally 11 days for condos and 9 days for single family homes. They're not staying on the market. And to what Dylan was saying about the number of listings, we have 440 active listings right now. And so I went back last night. I said, you know what? I'm curious to see what that 2005 to 2007 portion looked like, how many active homes were on. I went back to all the stats that I have. And the bottom month, the lowest month of active homes at that time was 811, almost double what we have now. So just amazing how little inventory we have on the market right now here on Oahu. And we brought up, and this is every neighborhood is the same. Kahala's up 35% for median home price. We brought one on the market for $3.5 million. And in that first week, we had 6 offers. I'm seeing it across the board. Condos, 40% of condos are selling above the list price, and 67% of single family homes are selling above the list price. And then if you look at Eva Beach, 80% of homes are selling above the list price. So nothing's changed. I do kind of feel like we've had a little bit of fatigue, and we're coming into the holiday period. I do expect a little bit of a slowdown, both on listings coming on and just kind of buyer activity. But it's the numbers haven't changed, so I don't anticipate the fundamentals changing right now.
I saw thanks. What? Go ahead.
But the one thing to keep an eye on, interest rates have bumped up a little bit. They bumped up about 0.5%. So that's the key factor for me for decelerating this thing and slowing down. Interest rates going up is going to slow this thing down quicker than anything else.
Well, interest rates are indirectly a price increase, right? Indirectly, they're a price increase on the market. I saw an interesting graph. I wish I should have thought about it to bring it with me, but I'm sure that you know this. But I saw this very interesting graph that, since COVID, single family homes on Oahu have taken a big leap in prices, a huge leap in prices. Whereas condos actually took a dip initially, which I'm sure was reflected because of the Waikiki condos. And now they've kind of returned back and they're sort of on their curve. They've increased well, but it was a huge jump in single family homes.
Yeah. And if you look back at that 2005 to 2007, I was actually shocked. The months of inventory remaining for single family homes is at 1.2 right now. In 2005 to 2008, it was actually 2.4. We're lower in inventory in single family homes now, and condos was actually their months of inventory remaining during that 2005 time period was much lower than it is now. So it's almost reversed. Condos were selling more in that 2005 range, whereas now it's single family homes, and that's natural. People wanting to get out of condos, they want to have some yard if you're going to be staying at home. That was that whole COVID component that played into that.
I think that COVID component's been huge for a variety of reasons, and not the least of which is if you're going to be working from home, you need that extra bedroom, et cetera, et cetera. So the 3-bedroom home, all that kind of stuff. Congrats have come in from Jason to Heidi. Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Jason. I'm sure that Heidi really appreciated it. Heidi, the newly engaged, got proposed on a waterfall. Top that, right? Give us the update for Maui, Heidi. What's going on with Maui's market?
Well, the boots on the ground update is it is still a pretty intense market with a lot of buyer demand. Don't see that slowing down anytime immediately. I'll just share a couple of stats so you can compare them to what Scott reported on Oahu. The year-to-date median sales price on Maui for a single-family home is $999,000, so just under $1 million. And for condos, it's $645,675, which is up 14.3% last year. And that's across all properties on Maui. If you get into certain neighborhoods, some have had a lot more appreciation. Compared to 2020, the inventory on the markets, I was looking, it's actually been pretty stable, but things are just selling so much faster in 2021. There was a statistic out last month that condominiums going under contract have increased 118%. I mean, that's just a huge increase. But I mean, we're also comparing this to last year when the island was shut down for a large part of the year. So that really slowed down the condominium market last year. And I was kind of looking at a graph just of historical pendings and sales over the past 10 years. And the biggest spike it looked like was in the spring, like March, April, May this year. And then it's gone down a little bit, but it's still above anywhere else it's been for the last 10 years. So it's just kind of crazy. In 2018, 2019, I mean, it was just a little slower market. You'd have buyers that were, I wonder what's going to happen in the future. I wonder what's going to happen to the market. And then the worst possible thing happened. The world shut down, COVID, global pandemic, and now everyone's like, go, go, go. So that's just where we are.
Yeah, it really is a wild moment in history for sure. I mean, you name it, right? The supply chain now we're all kind of freaking out about, and I know it is a sign of the coming apocalypse when I go into Costco and I can't get Kalamata olives the way I used to. If they're out of Kalamata olives, that means that the end is near. I know that for a fact. I think it says it somewhere in the Bible. If Kalamata olives are not in Costco, it is a sign of one of the coming apocalypse signs.